Okay, it's postbag time. A couple of little packages have arrived from wish.com. Let's have a look and see what we've got today. So, first one is kitchen implement. And this is a couple of little dumpling makers. So these can be used to make Chinese dumplings, or I guess ravioli actually, I probably could use them for as well. So there's a couple of them there. Couldn't just buy one for some reason. Could buy 2 or 5 or 3 or something, but not just one. So anyway, we'll try those out. I think we might have a video soon where we try to make some Chinese dumplings. Okay, the other one, haha, I think I know what this is going to be. Yes, it's yet another Famiclone games console. Now, similar in appearance to the Cool Baby that we looked at a couple of weeks ago, but this one has a greater range of games on it. Let's have a look. It's got a little rechargeable battery in there. It's a bit more chunky than the one we looked at the other day. Interesting, it had a screen protector fitted, and I can see that there is another screen protector fitted, which is kind of marring the appearance of the screen a little bit, so I'm going to take that off. You might disagree with me removing screen protectors. I don't particularly like them, but there you go, that's my lookout. I should just have to be careful not to scratch that screen, won't I? So it comes with a mini USB cable for charging, and a jack to phonode cable, which I think is to plug it into a TV. Let's have a little look and see what we've got. So there's a little volume wheel there as well, which is good. Let's see if there's any power in it. So that looks like it's going to be the same. Let's just turn that down. Yeah, 168 in one. So this looks like the same as... Let's just turn the sound down on there. Now this is interesting because the other day we looked at this one, and this is an odd one because when I revisited it I realised we've got this menu here that's got 16 little icons, and I actually thought I'd been conned and only sold a game that had 16 games on it. And I was a little bit disappointed because this one was advertised as having 198 games or something like that. And at first I was a little bit disappointed, and then I realised that one of these tiles here is more games. So when we go to that more games one, we get 246 in one, and it's the similar sort of thing really. This is all the Famicom games that have been crammed on here, and a little menu has been added. So this one has got 246 games, although there are some repeats in there. It's got Galaxian more than once. It's got a couple of other games more than once. It's got Sky Destroyer a couple of times. And anyway, so let's have a look and see what we've got on this one. So Super Mario, lots of Mario stuff on the first page. More Mario, Super Mario, Sonic. Okay. Lots of stuff on here. Pac-Mania, Spider-Man, Arkanoid, Angry Birds, Gradius. Let's see if we got... Yeah, okay, so we can go one page at a time on here. Galaxian and Galaga. Okay, those are my two favourite games out of these anyway, so those are the ones I'm most likely to play, so I am very pleased to see them on here. Let's have a go at Galaxian. Okay, and it's a good implementation of Galaxian. As far as I'm concerned, that looks pretty good. Well, didn't do very well there, did I? I would say that's probably actually one of the better implementations of Galaxian in the Famicom or Famiclone variety that I've seen. So I am pretty pleased with that, and I think this could be the console that I keep in my pocket, to be honest, because it seems to be pretty darn good. Let's have a go on a Mario game and see what those are like. Let's go for that one there, Super Mario. Okay. Well, music's actually the right tempo, which is unusual for one of these games. Okay, so I'm actually pretty impressed with this one. I'd say that's not a bad little gadget actually. It's about the size of a Game Boy Pocket. A little bit thicker maybe than a Game Boy Pocket. Of course those aren't Game Boy games on there, they are Famicom games, but same difference actually in many cases. Pretty good I'd say, and probably slightly better than this one in terms of quality. The buttons and the D-pad, a little bit better quality on this one. And it's got a nice grippy texture to it as well, which makes it fun to play. So yeah, I think that's probably the best of the three, or four if you include the one that plugged in the TV only, little consoles that I've actually experimented with lately from Wish.com. This wasn't expensive, it cost this much money. I can't remember how much it was, but I'll put it on the screen right here. And so yeah, I think that's alright actually. So we're walking out along the track through the fields where I often go with Eva, and we've had the first rain last night after a very prolonged dry spell. So it hasn't rained for, I think it must be a couple of months actually, and so we had about 2 centimeters of rain last night, and it's really strange. It's given the air and the sky a kind of autumnal feel. We're not even out of July yet, but it just feels almost like the start of autumn. It's really strange. I'm sure if the hot weather continues, that feeling will not persist for long. But it's just really odd. It's actually quite pleasant this morning, because for the first time in a few weeks, it's bearably cool to go out walking in the sunshine. Let's see what we can find today, see if we can find anything interesting. And I think this demonstrates how dry it has been. In one of my previous videos I told you about a pond that was here. It's not really a pond, it's actually just a puddle that had been there for more than a year. But actually it's completely dried up. Even though we had some rain last night, it's a bit moist in the bottom there. But that pond puddle with all the dragonflies has gone, sadly. Eva, come on. Come on, let's walk on. Come on. Just people. So despite a fairly dry summer, there is still a fair bit of fruit to be found. It looks like the blackberries are going to be okay. Some of them are a bit small, but I've seen actually some quite good blackberries, and I think the sunshine will have done them quite well. And just here we've got, this is honeysuckle, and these are honeysuckle berries. They look very beautiful. I don't think they're edible, but they do look very beautiful. They're translucent, sort of red, almost ruby colour. Very pretty, but we'll leave those for the birds. Yeah, I think if we get a few more days of rain, we're going to have some really nice blackberries this year, because I think the sunshine will have made them really sweet. Yeah, so if we look here, look at these. There's some very fine blackberries here. And let's just try one. That's softish to the touch, so I would say those are ripe. Let's find a really nice looking one. I haven't had any breakfast yet today, but I'm gonna treat myself to a wild blackberry. Let's see what that tastes like. Doesn't it look beautiful? That is really sweet, and I think that's the sunshine that we've got to thank for that. Sunshine's allowed the plant to build up sugars, and now the little bit of rain we've had will just swell the fruit and make them juicy. But there are some very fine blackberries in these bushes. I think I might come back out here with a bucket later. Now take a look at these rose hips. They are black rose hips, and I can't remember what species of rose or variety of rose produces these, but these look ripe for picking. I may well come back out here and pick these rose hips and make some rosehip syrup. I've done it before with these rosehips and they're really good. It has a distinctly more sort of fruits of the forest type of flavour than normal rosehip syrup. So yeah, those are, well, if I can figure out what kind of rose they are, I'll put it on the screen right now. I think we might come back and get them later. So thanks for joining me on this little wander this morning. It's nice to see the river has got a bit more water in it since last night's rain. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this little wander this morning in the cool of the morning after last night's storm and before we get too hot today. I hope that's been interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.